Hi, I'm Juan-Pablo. I study philosophy and art history at Rice. We're here at the Rice Global Paris Center. And so we're here because I'm taking a course called Unlearning Paris this summer. And it's with Fabiola López-Durán and Duno-Gottberg. It's about unlearning kind of this sort of typical conception of Paris. And the really great part about the class is that there's both, that seminar part of it where we're in the class discussing the text, we're, having these really intense conversations, but we're also using the city as a textbook, and it's completely changing the way that I orient and engage myself with the city of Paris. And that's been a super interesting and cool experience because it's like not, the typical conception or idea of Paris that we have. And then I've been in Paris for a little bit because I was doing a travel fellowship through the art history department to do archival research here at the Pompidou. So luckily, because of Rice, I've gotten lots of Paris this summer, and it's been really fun and interesting. I grew up with one of my parents living in the US and one of my parents living in Mexico. So I would go there every summer, all the time for holidays. So I was used to experiencing, the culture that I lived and went to school at, but also different types of cultures. And then ever since that I've gone to Rice, I've basically made it kind of my goal that whenever it's not during the academic year, that I try to find some opportunity somewhere new, doing something odd and interesting to just get to see so much of the world. Yeah, and so through Rice, I will have done study abroad in 3 different countries. So last summer, I took a class and I worked in Spain at an art gallery. And then this summer here in Paris, and then in the next academic year in the UK. So luckily I've been able to experience loads of different cultures in different parts of the world through Rice. It's been really cool. Yeah, good coffee, really good matcha, really good matcha. I'm always well caffeinated here, that's for sure. There's a coffee shop like every street, every other corner. I love going to different coffee shops, just trying different things. Merci. Yeah, so we're in La Marais. I think it's like one of the coolest neighborhoods in all of Paris. It's super young. There's always different things happening in this neighborhood. Yeah, so this is just a really cool neighborhood to go in. There's lots of cool coffee shops, boutiques, museums. It's a very vibrant neighborhood. Well, I love the fact that the Rice Global Paris Center is here because it's like, I'm vegan and there's a vegan bakery like 2 minutes walking from the Global Paris Center. There's a park that I like to go eat lunch at, like 10 minutes walking from the neighborhood. It's like great for picnics, especially in the summertime. This is just so nice, especially this time of year, just to get a coffee, a tea, sit outside. I love going to like coffee shops on like a Sunday afternoon with a book, get like, a drink and just sit there, relax. I like street art just like generally, but it's super cool to see like the Parisian street art scene. There's loads of different artists who are like really popular and working. Like a super famous guy that me and all my friends love is Space Invader. His works are all over the city and you can like take a photo of them on like the app he has and like earn points. It's a cool little game you can play. One of the cool things about Paris is there's just a trillion different food options. And one of the actually really cool things about being in La Marais, the neighborhood where the Rice Global Paris Center is, that it's super like culturally diverse and there's lots of different types of food and cuisines to eat. Today we're just at like a cafe. It's a vegan cafe. It's just a yogurt bowl with fruit and granola. It's refreshing on a day like today. My favorite's the bakeries. Like the pastries, the breads, all of it, it's like the best in the world. This is an art gallery that has a show by Carlos Cruz right now, who's a really important artist from Venezuela. I didn't even know this was like going on. There's a really big piece of him at the MFA Hage that's like one of the tunnels. But like one day I was just walking to the museum that I do research at and I'm like, oh, what is this? But it's a really interesting exhibition and it's changed the way that I see his art. But it's a lot about color and like how we sort of interact and perceive and engage with color. So lots of cool structures to look at. This is the Centre Pompidou. It's the National Museum of Art here in France, or of modern art here in France, and it's just, in my opinion, like the greatest and coolest museum in the world. This is the museum where I do archival research at, And it's just insane. Everything about it, it's insane. The architecture of the building's really interesting. The way the museumography of the building's used, like the lighting in the gallery. Everything about this museum I think is super well done and done super interestingly. Before the class started, this is essentially where I was living Monday through Friday. I would come here whenever the archives would open, like at 11 a.m. and leave here typically around 5 or 6 in the afternoon. And every moment of it is super cool. The exhibition spaces, like the view from the top, the permanent collection in the galleries, the architecture of the building. There's just so many really interesting and cool things about this museum. But yeah, I basically live here. Just outside the Bibliothèque Kandinsky here at the Centre Pompidou, and this is where I do research, archival research, and it's super cool. Primarily what I've been doing here is I've been requesting documents on Constantine Brancusi, the sculptor who I'm doing research on, and it's been a really cool experience to learn a lot about him by going through a lot of his personal correspondence, going through documents that he sent back and forth between certain museums, organizing exhibitions, to some of his friends, some of his private notes on art. And it's been a really wonderful learning experience. And this is also my first time doing archival research, and it's just super fun. They just give you a box of this guy's junk and you just go through it. And they also have like every single art book that you could possibly imagine and document related to this museum and its history.
Salut.
Salud. One of the great things about Rice is that it's such a small university. You get really great student-professor relationships. And so I'm here with one of my professors who's teaching a course. We're just at the Museum of Modern Art here in the city of Paris, looking at a wonderful exhibition on Arab art in the 20th century. And one of the great things is you get to do almost like a sort of field research with your professor. You get to go to exhibitions, see how they're interacting, engaging in art, how they're getting inspiration for their research and the coming projects they might be getting to work on. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to learn in a way that's not just learning in the classroom. One of the cool things about being here in Paris and studying here in Paris is that, it's just like a regular Thursday night, and like this is how I'm ending my day, by like sitting down, relaxing, looking at the Eiffel Tower. It's pretty epic.